Okay, so like I said, welcome from GIC. I know there might be one or two who have already taken part in our chat yesterday, so welcome back. I hope it will be useful to you. So we've got quite a lot of questions submitted for this chat, so but feel free obviously to send us your questions. You can start typing them. Sorry, there's still one person that has not turned off their microphone and is speaking quite loudly. Okay, I think they just turned it off. Okay, so we'll start with a few introductions of the people that are here. So for those of you that were here yesterday, we have our student or former student here today, James again, and we have the Business Law and Social Sciences subject leader, Anna McVicker, here today as well, so she'll be able to answer all your questions specifically about your subject. And then we also have Donald here, who is our progression coordinator, and he was here yesterday as well. You probably would have seen him on the video if you had a look at that already. So first thing what we'll do, we'll start off with the first question, and like I said, there's quite a few questions, but if you already can think of some new questions, please, you can start typing them now. Okay, so just send us the questions that you have. In the meantime, we will start answering some of the ones that have been submitted beforehand. Okay, so first question is there a course in legal writing? Do we know that?
No, there's no course specifically in legal writing, but students that are on the pre-masters Business Law and Social Science that are progressing on to law can do a module, or will have to do a module, which is called Introduction to Scottish, European and International Law, which will teach them the protocols for referencing in a legal format.
Okay, fantastic, thank you. Now, the second question would be, is it possible after finishing the pre-master programme in law to progress to another master instead of the general LLM? For example, the corporate and financial law master.
That would be like course changes. I would say if you are looking at changing your course, you need to do it within the first 2 weeks, or we can't guarantee anything. But certainly after you've completed your programme at GIC, it would not be possible to change your course. That would be up to Glasgow University, and they would almost always say no.
Okay, thanks a lot. Now the next question is about, would you like to know, I would like to know more about exams and assessments.
Okay. In the study skills modules, you will normally do coursework. It will either be a coursework, 2 pieces of written coursework, or it could be a presentation and a piece of coursework. And normally it's 2 elements in each of those modules. For the subject modules, again, it would normally be 1 coursework, and now 1 exam, and some modules possibly a small 10% exam and a 40% exam from this year, because we want to check students' progress before the end of term, and we think having a small test is a good idea before we come to the very end of your programme.
Okay, great. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about your exams, just your experience?
About my exams?
Assessment.
The exams are all inclusive of what you study, the good preparation to what you'll actually expect if you actually choose a program that's in line with what you're going to progress with. There's an assessment in December and another at the end of the course, and both they're fairly good. If you study well enough, you're guaranteed to pass. So if you joke around, then you don't expect otherwise.
Okay, fantastic. And how did you think, did you have to write any essays or any other assignments? How was that for you?
The uni actually, the college actually teaches you how to write essays, something I didn't know that well. So it's something that they really prepare you for, writing essays and critical thinking, which is something that you should look forward to learning. Yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, so the next question is related to accommodation. So somebody has asked, is the accommodation contract flexible and can it be refunded? Has ever gone already? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so I will answer this question. Now, our accommodation contracts are not flexible. If you sign the contract that you have applied for, then you will have to stay in your room, or you will have to, you're binded by that contract for the dates that are stated on your contract. Of course, if you want to move out earlier, that's fine, but you will not be refunded any money. You need to be aware of that. Now, the contracts that you've been sent already, if you want to change anything about that, then you should do that before you arrive here at the college, because once you move in, then there's really not much that we can do about your contract. So if there's anything that you want to change just now about your rooms, then please get in touch with our accommodation manager, Deborah. I believe she's sending out some emails to you as well about that, so you should already have your email address. If not, I can also provide that after the chat. I will just write it here in the group. Now, the second thing was about if there's photos available for accommodation. Yes, they are, and they are on our website, and they are in the accommodation guide that is available through our website. If you are not aware of our website, then again, I will send you the link after this chat, and I will send it to this group, and you'll be able to access the photos on our website through that and have a look at the accommodation guide as well. Okay, now the next question. Since I'm going for business, social science and law, may I know the subjects that I am going to study?
Okay. I'm not sure whether you're doing the pre-masters or the foundation programme, but generally all students study academic skills modules. They all have to do language for study 3, because that's the exit English language test that you have to do. And students then will study a programme dependent on whether you're doing foundation business, foundation social science or the pre-masters. If you're doing foundation business, you will study economics, introduction to social science and comparative politics, and the same if you're doing the social science foundation. However, then if you're doing business, you will study foundation organisational behaviour and foundation marketing. If you're doing foundation social science, you will, instead of studying those 2 modules, you will study individual state and society and introduction to sociology. If you're going on to the pre-masters programme, there's only one module of a difference. Again, students study the language and academic skills modules, but they have to study research methods, and they study a project module, which is still seen as an academic skills module. And then they've got a choice of 1 of 5 modules now. This year we've just brought in a new module, which is an economics module, along with an accountancy and finance module, and we've got an introduction to law module, and we've got a European liberal democracy module, and the last module is marketing, okay, and accounting and finance. So there's 5 different modules at pre-masters level, but that's the only difference between the pre-masters programmes for each module. And students are doing some more social science orientation. Instead of studying organisational behaviour, study a module called social science principles. But again, if anyone's very interested pre-arrival, we can send you the structure diagrams, because I know that's quite complicated to understand even for people that work at GIC. So we can help you with that if you want.
Okay. I can just see that a couple of you were saying that you can't hear properly. Don't worry, we are recording the session for you, so you will be able to access the videos afterwards. So don't worry, please, if you can't hear us properly. I will type the message as well in just a second. Okay, so the next question is, do we need to come up with our own timetable for the subjects?
No. Your timetable will be devised around the programme you're studying, and particularly on pre-masters, depending on which specialist module that you're doing. Sometimes we can have many students on the programme. This year, for example, in September, we might have up to 170 students doing organisational behaviour in the first term, and 200 students doing research methods. So the classes will probably be running about 10 classes, seminar classes, and one large lecture. And we will have to plan the timing around probably when you arrive and when you register. We'll work out what your timetable is. And unfortunately, it will be dependent on when you come. It won't be anything to do with your friends or anything like that. So your timetable is very bespoke to you.
Okay, I think we'll just break it up a little bit with a question that you have already sent us. So Andy's asked what kind of mobile phone operator is suitable and gives you good network coverage. Do you know something about that, James?
I can't. I use 3 Mobile, which sometimes has its disadvantages.
Okay.
But most people use O2, which has good network coverage and internet.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
It also depends if you want to take a contract, pay as you go. You could research all that online and check what you actually need.
Mhm.
But it's on personal preference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you call your home sometimes, your family back home?
I do, but I don't use my 3 Mobile, so I use one of the cheaper networks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which one would that be?
I use Lighter Mobile to call home. It's much cheaper to call international.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I use my 3 Mobile to call contracts within the UK, which you also get free calls to 3 Mobile, so which is advantageous. You can come and link up with your friends
Yes,
and organize.
tell your friends.
Tell your friends which contract phone operator you want to use,
Yeah.
which is cheaper for you. You
Yeah.
get to call free.
Yeah, cheap. Yeah.
And free text.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Okay. And where can you buy like a mobile SIM cards, or where can you get them?
If I'm not wrong, the college gives you cards. I don't know if you still do.
Do we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Leica? Yeah. I thought it was a bar. Okay.
Yeah, they'll give you SIM cards when you arrive, which will
Yeah.
actually help you.
Yeah.
But before you leave, check if your phone is compatible with international SIMs, or if it's locked to your local SIM.
Yeah.
If not, change it before you come. It'll save you the hassle.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, there's another question here. What books can they prepare before the courses? I'm not sure if this is a question. Do you mean to bring books with you here to GIC? I don't think that's very necessary.
Well, we certainly, probably Melanie will be putting up shortly a list of all the reading that's essential for all of the modules. So really it's up to yourself whether you want to bring them with you, but I think you should just wait till you come to Glasgow. But the tutors have already given the reading for every module, and the study skills books you can buy in the college. In fact, I think everyone's paying an extra fee on top of their fees for coming to college to cover all the study skills books. So that's already covered, and somehow you'll get these books when you arrive at GIC. We have got a bookshop on the university campus, and they offer, I think, a discount of 10% for our students, and sometimes they do arrange extra book bundles as well, where you can get a better discount than that. But ultimately it's up to you how you want to purchase your books, but we certainly will recommend them to you.
Yeah, so I think we actually help you quite a lot with your book, with buying your book. So our finance department actually has extra sessions on after the registration week that will to help you buy your book. So this is not like your study skills books or your book bundles as well. But like Anna says, we're going to make a reading list for you available. But I think for the sake of saving your kilograms on your luggage, I think bringing books is not the best idea. It's also, we do have a really big library here on campus with 12 big floors and a lot of resources. So hopefully that should be good as well. Maybe James could talk a little bit maybe about the library. Do you use it quite often, or do you still use it?
I do. Yeah, it's very well equipped, and the better thing about it is also the resources that you get, the articles. So you get the university library has a huge database of articles.
Yeah.
So it'll help you doing your assessments, which is very good.
Yeah, so that's all like online.
Yeah, so you get access to electronic journals, which are free because it's part of your fees basically. You can access the databases and the journals, which will help you a lot with your academic assignments.
Yeah. Good. Fantastic. Okay, is it possible if we go on part-time after we finish the first term?
No, unfortunately we don't offer that. I'm never saying it might not happen, but at the moment we certainly don't offer
Part-time study.
part-time study.
You can't on a Tier 4 visa, so...
Okay, yeah, so on your visa you are not allowed, the visa that you get to come here to GIC, you are not allowed to do any part-time study.
And to be honest, also the mode of delivery at the moment, quite a lot of the modules are not finished after the first term, so it would not be particularly convenient to stop your programme in December, because you would leave a lot of modules half finished, so it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
If at all possible.
Yeah, I mean, do you still remember what your timetable was like? Did you have quite like, you know, a couple of hours free on one day and maybe another couple of hours? Or?
No, my timetable was packed.
Yeah.
Monday to Friday, every day 9 to afternoon till 4. I was always busy.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't have time. It's a crash program, so you need to be on it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'll go back to one of the questions that we've received prior to this chat. Do we have an orientation program? And if so, when will it be? I will start answering this question and then I will refer to Anna for a little bit more subject related answer to this. Now, our orientation program starts on the 14th of September. So as soon as you should be arriving, obviously a couple of days before that, but when you come to see us the first day on the 14th of September, that's your orientation week, that it will start then. Now, at the same time as here in the college, but also at the same time at the university, so there's going to be lots of things happening for you to get to know fellow students, to learn about the college, to do all the mandatory processes of registering you here at the college, but there's going to be a little welcome event for you. We're going to give you the chance to speak to some of the university students. There's going to be current students around for you to ask questions, so it's a very exciting week, and it's although we have to obviously register you, it is meant to be fun for you and for you to get to know the college in Glasgow. Now there are some subject orientated aspects of the orientation week, and maybe Anna can tell you a little bit about that.
I mean, I must say that it's very important you do really try to come at the beginning. Come for what we call week 0, because the teaching starts the following week. But I think if you don't come in the first week of induction, you're missing getting to know your other peers that are doing the same course, and you're all in the same boat, and it's very helpful if you're all together going through that process. As far as the academic induction, that is going to be on the Monday or Tuesday. I think it's a Tuesday, so it's very early on in the programme. Normally we might be a wee bit later in the week. When is it? Sorry, it might be a bit later in the week. But basically the academic induction, we cover things like the structure of your programme, what being on time means in the UK culture, because in some cultures it's a different thing. In Britain it means being a couple of minutes early. And we also talk to you about our attendance policy, which is very, very strict. We expect 100% attendance, and we will be chasing you if you don't come to college on a very regular basis. We also talk to you about the assessments. We talk to you about what we expect you to do as a student, and we also want you to know what you should expect from the academic staff members that are teaching you. And that's really the main thrust of the induction. Also, you're told about the one-to-one tutorials, which are a very important part of GIC, where students are regularly seen for the first term once a fortnight by a learning support tutor. And that is the kind of crux of the academic induction.
Yeah. So you will actually receive a sample of the orientation week in your email on Monday, so that's on the 24th of August. And so you will receive a little bit more information about that, so that should give you an idea of it. Okay, I'll go back to some of the questions that you've asked us here just now. Okay, so do we have to pay extra to buy the books for the courses? I believe you do, because I think there's certain book bundles, for example, that you'll be able to buy cheaper when you buy them here in the college, or like Anna said earlier, you can get like a student discount when you go to the actual bookstore, so you'll have to pay extra for those.
I think the study skills modules are covered with the extra fees that you're paying. I think it's maybe an extra £95 I hear, but not the subject module textbooks, which is normally not too many. It's normally about one textbook per subject module.
Okay. How long does an exam take? Do you want to answer that, James?
Yes. Yeah. So, before we talk about how long it takes, it's not the time to worry about the exam, because you should worry more about the assessments that you'll be having. You will have written assessments like 5 weeks after you get here. Your exams will be at the end of the course, but normally an exam takes 2 hours.
To be honest, some of the modules, if you're on the pre-masters very intense 2-term programme, you will have assessments before 5 weeks, because the modules are delivered very much within 11 or 12 weeks. You can have maybe an assessment coming in about week 3 or 4 for one of the study skills, SS1. So really, it is very much you arrive and you've got to start working straight away.
Not to scare you off though.
Did you tell them the exams are 2 hours? Most of the exams are 2 hours.
Yeah. 2 hours exams, which I think for some people they might say, oh, that's maybe about the same as in my country, and in other countries they'll say, oh, this is really short. I remember my end exams were about 6 hours long, so when I came to the UK I was a bit shocked. So you know already now that your exams will only be 2 hours long. Do you maybe want to talk about the style of the exam, like just to kind of? I remember I thought it was quite different.
We have a variety of different styles. Some are very simple exams where you maybe do 2 essays out of 4 essays with complete free choice. Others you might have to pick one from 2 in section A and one from 2 in section B. Other exams are more complicated where you might have 15 multiple choice questions where you pick from A, B, C, D. You just have to pick the right answer. And then we might have short answer questions, part B, maybe 2 out of 4. And then you might be given a scene case study where you read the case in advance, and then you get unseen questions in your exam. So your job is to be a forensic detective and look at the case study and really try to appraise what questions are likely to come up. But students do very well in these exams, so they're well structured and they're fair, and normally they do cover the whole curriculum, so they're testing your general knowledge of the whole module.
I like the case study, it's really good. The scene will be.
Okay, does the university give full or partial scholarships to the college students? If yes, can you explain a little bit about the scholarships, please?
Scholarships are different every year. They're decided by the University of Glasgow for students who are going there. So I can tell you this year there are 3 for foundation students and 3 for pre-master students. But that changes every year, so we will let students know as soon as we know what's happening. But I wouldn't like to comment on what will happen when you're here, because it could be different to what the university is doing this year.
I mean, I would say normally, to be honest, on the whole, it's on your academic ability. We look at the overall grade point average or score of the student, and then staff get a chance to comment as well across all departments about the students, and also they talk about their wider engagement with GIC, like are they a student rep, do they represent the college in lots of events, are they supportive of other students in the classroom. All of these things help towards whether you get a scholarship or not. So, if you fully engage in your studies, you're a bright student, you know that you're going to do well at GIC, then there's a very good chance that you'll have a strong chance of being considered for a scholarship.
Great, okay. Alright, the next question would be, is there anyone who can assist with my visa once I arrive in GIC? Yes, there is. We have a dedicated member of staff who will help you with any of your questions related to your visas. His name is Ben, and you will meet him in your first week because he will help you register as well. So yes, any questions related to visas, you'll be able to ask Ben. Ben is also really good because he provides workshops, so if there are important things like visa extensions coming up or any kind of important information that he needs to tell you, he will usually deliver workshops to bigger groups of students to let you all know about any important information. So you are taken care of when it comes to visas. Now there's also a question about the how you currently, or once you receive your visa is only for 1 month, and and where the nearest post office is. Now this is a little bit more complicated, so I will take a little bit of time to explain this. So if you have already received your visa, or you're in the process of receiving your visa will only be cover 1 month. And you will have received a letter to collect your visa. It's called a BRP, a biometric residence permit. You're asked to collect this from a specific post office. So it's not necessarily the nearest post office to the college, but you will have to take care to read your letter properly. If you arrive already a few days before, I say the weekend before registration, if you arrive any earlier than that, then we would encourage you to try and go to the post office yourself. You find the address on your letter, and it should be fairly easy, especially for your student accommodation around here at the college. It should be fairly easy for you to get to that post office. If you arrive on the weekend and you'll be coming to the college on Monday, then we will help you get to the post office, so you don't have to worry about that. But that's pretty much, I think, all that you need to know for now. Read the letter properly, look at the address of the post office and the date that your visa will be available from, and then you will be able to pick the visa up. Okay. Okay, is there any transportation for students, like a train station, to go to school? Now, I think that really depends on where you live. If you need to travel by train or by bus to the college, but most of our student accommodation around here is pretty close to the college, so you'll be able to walk within kind of 5 or 10 minutes, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. But I think maybe James could tell us a little bit about public transport in general here in Glasgow. So,
yeah, sure. The public transport is really efficient and right on time, so it's no excuse to be late. But yeah, if you live far, you could take a number 2 bus or number 3. They all get, they use the old Dumbarton Road. That will get you outside the university if you live far from the accommodations that the uni offers you. Or you could take a subway and get off to Kevin Hall. Those are the options that you have. Trains are not so close to the uni.
Although there's some of them take you right to Partick.
They take you to Partick.
Which is only about, what, a 15-minute walk
15 minutes
from the
walk,
college. It's
yeah.
not too bad at all,
That's
actually.
not too bad, yeah. But you'd be better off using a bus or subway. Partick is a really convenient place because it can take you out of the uni if you want to go elsewhere. But basically, you could use a bus, train, tram, or a taxi if you're very late.
So it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
It's not a good way of spending your parents' money.
No.
yeah, that's true. Sorry, Donald, I think Andy's asking again just to summarise the scholarship information because he did not hear it. Is that good?
Oh, briefly, yes, there are scholarships available. 3 for foundation students, 3 for postgraduate students. But that does change every year, so we can't guarantee that that will be the case next year. But we will email students once we know what the university is doing, and we will also tell you if there is anything that you need to do to apply for a scholarship, or whether it's just a case of all students being considered. But we will give you that information as soon as we know.
Okay, fantastic. Just again, Andy, if you'll be able to watch the video afterwards, hopefully, so you'll get the longer version as well from earlier. Okay, now moving on to the next question. Okay, we saw that the school accommodation is supposed to start on the 12th of September. Can it also come one day earlier, for example, the 11th of September? Yes, you can arrive earlier, but you will not be able to move in on the 12th of until the 12th of December. So if you arrive on the 11th September, you will need to find somewhere to sleep for that night until the 12th. Okay, so you can only move in on the 12th of September and any day later than that, but you cannot move in any earlier than the 12th of September. Let's see if we can have the next question. Oh, okay. Some information about student activities. So student activities, you will have quite a lot of them happening already during your first week. So for example, we will have campus tours available and other things, and like a welcome event, like I said earlier. But throughout the rest of the term, we have organised different activities. This can range from educational support activities, so it could be more that you have informal classes to support your journey you're studying. So it could be something like time management, for example, or other things like to improve your pronunciation in English. But we also have other things like a language cafe where you can just meet other students and just get the chance to improve your conversational English. We have things like a film club. There's also going to be trips around Scotland, so we really want to encourage you to get to know Scotland a lot better. So we will take you up to the Highlands and to see kind of the main points here here in Scotland. We actually start off just a week after registration week. We will take you to Edinburgh, so that's usually one of our biggest trips because everybody always wants to come to Edinburgh right in the first week. So we'll take you there, and then from there hopefully you find some interest in the other things. But I think our students go and do quite a lot of them by themselves as well, and obviously together with their friends. Things are really accessible here to go and do things. So is there anything that you've done in particular?
Different?
Yeah, like just activity-wise here in Glasgow.
Just basically what you touched on, and then you could also get more clubs and societies from Glasgow Uni.
Yeah.
So I think by the time you guys get here, it'll coincide with Freshers Week. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure.
No,
and it's a beehive of activities. So there'll be clubs happening, societies, all looking to enroll you when you get here. So take your time and go around. Just dedicate that whole week to just going around and familiarize yourself with the uni. Yeah. There's plenty of things that you can do.
Yeah,
and get involved with.
Yeah, I think we should definitely stress that. It's such a good way to not only become familiar, obviously, with the college during orientation week, but to really get into your university life. You are a full Glasgow University student once you arrive here at the college. So although you attend a different building and you go into a different building maybe every day, some of your classes will be on campus. So you might want to actually know maybe some people around that are walking about in the same place, or you will use the same library, you will use the same gym and sports facilities. So we really encourage you to join the clubs and societies at the universities, really for your own benefit, to get to know other students, to get to know local students as well. So because it really helps you obviously improve your own English as well, and I think it will definitely help your studying here in the college. Okay. I can still see that some of you don't hear us properly. Okay, like I said, just again, there will be a video available afterwards, so please don't worry too much. We will send the links once they are uploaded, and you'll be able to watch them afterwards. Now, okay, a few names of affordable places for students to eat.
Obviously, I'm a student, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a cafeteria in the university. They call it Food. It offers affordable food, so you can get lunch, breakfast there, and general, yeah.
There's a lot of little tiny restaurants on Dumbarton Road now.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Particularly, there's been a lot of little restaurants that have opened up, either Chinese restaurants, Indian restaurants, that offer very good lunch deals.
Yep.
Which we're delighted about, 2 staff members at GIC, because we benefit from all of that as well.
Okay.
And they're not very expensive.
No.
They're about £4 to £5
yeah.
maximum for a lunch meal, which really could be your main meal of the day.
Yeah.
So it's very affordable.
Yeah.
And if you use your university card, so student discount, you can get plenty of discounts around. Just remember to always ask for it. Just go with your card when you get your lunch. You get £5 and you get discount on top of it, which is not too bad. So remember to use your card when you're going for lunch.
Yeah, so James just really hit a good point. So once you arrive here in Glasgow, you will register here with the college, and once you have confirmed your Glasgow address, so the place where you will live here in Glasgow, you will be able to receive a student card from the university. So currently you have a student number that is 5 digits long, which is the college, that is the college ID number, but you will receive a university ID number as well, and with that also comes a student card. And once you have that student card, the world of student discounts is open to you. You can do pretty much anything with it. It's pretty good. It's also some form of identification for some places, not for anything official, so don't try and tell the police that this is you with your student ID card. But like I said, you will be able to use it in quite a lot of places to prove that you are a student and receive wonderful discounts. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we had because we had that yesterday in the chat as well, that you can receive discounts on groceries. So if you go to a supermarket and you pay for food there, then you will not get a discount. But they usually have really good offers. But for anything else like clothes shopping, like restaurants or anything that's on campus, even in other cities, it's fine as well. So it's not just related to Glasgow. Anywhere here, at least here in the UK, you can show your student card and you can get discounts for that. Okay. Got another question here. How much does it cost to take a bus or a taxi?
It obviously depends on where you get off or where you're getting on and where you're going to. I think for buses, first bus, it's $1.20 for anything under 4 stops and £2 for anything above that. Taxi, it also depends on where you live. When you get here, you can download some apps for taxis, for pre-booked taxis. So pre-booked taxis are cheaper than the black taxis. But you don't need to use a taxi. Where you live is around uni, is just walking distance to anywhere you want to go. It's convenient to go. Unless you want to go out, so you can take a bus or train. Basically, you don't need to use a taxi as much.
No, it's expensive, it really is.
Yes.
Of course, if you've got a lot of luggage or something, you've missed your pickup with the college, then maybe you will use a taxi. But again, we've got airport buses that are very reasonable that stop in Dumbarton Road. So, I think you have to be cautious about how you spend your money, and a taxi is not the way to spend your money really on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, buses, like especially trains or even buses. So there are buses that run here within the city, but you also can even get kind of long distance buses to like different cities.
Yeah.
So you don't even, because sometimes the train, if you book things in advance, then you can get quite cheap tickets for the train. But maybe if you suddenly decided you want to go to Aberdeen next week, then you might have to pay a little bit more going on the train. But Glasgow has a really big and still actually quite modern, I would say, bus station, Buchanan bus station, from where you can take buses to actually all over in the country.
Yeah.
I've just had some friends who took a bus to Dublin. It takes a really long time, but if you want to go to Dublin and you don't want to pay a lot of money, you can take the bus to Dublin. Takes you in the ferry as well. I think you might actually
Bus
see
to
quite
Dublin.
nice things.
Never thought about it.
Yeah, I wondered about that, how they got under the water on the bus. But
Yeah, no, the bus goes on the ferry actually, so it's quite It's quite good.
There's a weekly one to Poland as well now.
Yeah, Poland. You can
Yeah.
go to
Bus to
France.
Poland.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I
You
know
go to
about
France, I think, is it?
Yeah.
Not, yeah. Yeah. So
Another thing I was just going to say about the underground, or our underground in Glasgow, is you really can't get lost because it goes in a circle. So if you go on the wrong side, you will eventually get back to the right place that you want to be. So it's not a worrying underground to go on compared to maybe the London Underground, which is much more complicated. So that alone is quite good to know that it's very easy. And sometimes if it's very close, you might decide to jump on the other side, because it's a couple of minutes difference for travelling, and you'll get to know that once you come here.
yeah. I think there's only, I think it's 15 stops in total. So yeah, you really don't have to worry about that. It's just another question about student activities held in the dormitories. Now in Franklin Point and in the Globe, they've just told us yesterday that they've got quite a nice activities plan for you for the arrivals weekend. So when you're starting on the 11th and on the 12th and on the 13th, sorry, you'll be able to join some of their activities as well. But even throughout the term, something like, for example, the film club, because there's different rooms downstairs where you'll be able to join activities that are happening there. I think at the moment we're even looking at the possibility that some of the educational support sessions might happen there as well. So you might actually have quite a lot of things to do in your accommodation. But like I said, the accommodation also is not very far from the college, so you're never far away from the activities that are happening here. But for example, in the Globe downstairs, you also have access to a TV. There is a big table tennis for you as well. So
pool table.
Oh, pool table as well.
And now the Unite here. The Unite.
Oh yeah, in the other student accommodation you have pool tables as well. So so they do offer quite a lot of things for you to have fun with. Franklin Point, they don't have a table tennis in there, I don't think so.
No, they don't.
But again, it's very close to the Globe, and you'll be able to use the facilities in there as well. Especially because obviously some of your friends might live in the Globe, some of them might live in Franklin Point, so you can always come and meet up with them. It should be fairly easy. Okay. Mohammed is asking again about the assessments. I'm guessing maybe you have missed that already at the beginning. Do we just
What would you like to know?
quickly?
Yeah, basically, most modules have about 2 assessments. Sometimes there might be 3, but basically because we try and look at the whole programme, what we try to do now is make sure that you really don't have more than 1 formal assessment coming in a week, and you will get a calendar of all your assessments for the year, hopefully to encourage you to start working quickly and early for all your modules. Because some modules you might find that maybe the first formal assessment is not till Christmas, so and that might only be a 10% assessment. So you do need to be aware that in the end, 100%, you need to achieve as much as you can at 100% for each module. But I would say generally it's 2, no more than 3 assessments per module.
Now again about the student activity in Franklin Point, the common room areas are in the Globe. So especially for the first arrivals weekend, there will be like a bus for you, although it's really not actually far away from the Globe, but it will sound like as if it is. But there will be a mini bus to take you to the Globe, for you to join into all the activities with you. And then because the reception, even also from Franklin Point, is also in the Globe, so the Franklin Point is more of an independent accommodation where you can kind of go in and out, whereas the Globe has the reception, so you can go there whenever you want as well. Okay. Now another question here: will GIC offer some part-time jobs in the college, or are we allowed to get one at the university? No, you are not allowed to work on your visa while you are here in the college. It is strictly forbidden. It's not our choice, it's the UK Immigration's Home Office that do not allow you to work. Okay, so that's very important for you to remember. You are also not allowed to engage in any kind of voluntary activity. So even if you don't get paid, you are still not allowed to engage in any kind of work contract, whether you are paid or not. Okay, so that's really one to remember, and that's very important. Once you progress to the university, so once you are done here at GIC, I think you're then allowed to have a job, maybe certain hours. I think
20 hours.
it's 20 hours that you're allowed to work. But again, while you're at GIC, you're not allowed to work. When you are at the University of Glasgow, so once you progress to your bachelor's or master's degree, you are allowed to work. At the moment, it is 20 hours. So, yeah. Okay guys, we've got about a few minutes left. If you have any more questions, please feel free to type them now. What's the benefit of Franklin Point compared to the Globe? Is Deborah there? By any chance? Just give us a second. We'll just try and find our accommodation manager, because she will be the best person to explain this. In the meantime, maybe we could just get James to talk a little bit about his living situation. I know, because you didn't live in student accommodation. That's an unfortunate way of phrasing it.
Only the bits you can share with the world.
No, but maybe because obviously you live in you've lived in private accommodation all the time. Yeah. So did you find it quite easy to find private accommodation?
Finding a flat is tricky. It's really competitive. So you can get one. There are very many websites to actually get your flat, to search for a flat. You can get 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, but getting them in the West End is really competitive because you don't have new flats and everyone wants to live close to the uni. Before you get here, you're better off living in accommodations, and then you can link up as friends and look for a flat outside. But yeah, I like the flat. It's convenient for me. I get my privacy. Yeah. If you want to link up, it's good to live in the accommodations because you get to live with your friends, you get to learn about the assessments, fun things to do during the weekend. If you're not so social, then it will be good to live in the accommodation.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. And how did you have maybe other friends that did live in student accommodation?
I did, and
did you find it quite easy to kind of?
Yeah, we always used to hang out. Like I had friends in Franklin Point, and we used to like organize weekly parties. Like we'd have dinners together every Saturday just to catch up and talk about how we're finding school, different programs and how you find it. So we used to have dinners every Saturday, and then everyone can do whatever you want after. Go to the club, stay in, play cards, which is good. It breaks that what you call homesickness.
Yeah.
When you get to hang out with people from different, and you also get to learn about people from different cultures and countries. Yeah, which is a good way.
Okay, just to go back to the question, we've just have Deborah joining us, our accommodation manager. And Deborah, if you could maybe talk a little bit about the benefits of Franklin Point over the Globe.
Franklin Point, we generally say, is for someone who's a bit older, so we don't allow anybody under 18 to live at Franklin Point because there is no staff on site. Staff do visit regularly, and it's very secure to live there, but Franklin Point, I would say, is more for someone who's a bit older, a bit more independent. It has more of a feel like a student apartment. So it doesn't have, although you've got a communal area within the accommodation, within your flat, you know, you all share the kitchen, you could sit there. It doesn't have a social area like the Globe does. You know, it doesn't have the table tennis room, it doesn't have a media room where you can sit and watch TV, play computer games with a variety of people. In Franklin Point, you're really more socialising with your flatmates, or if you get invited to another flat. So usually we'd say for someone maybe a bit older, maybe students studying pre-masters, who's wanting to dedicate more time to studying than maybe to partying or socialising. Also, the interior, the facilities are a bit more high spec than the ones at the Globe. But the actual rooms, the actual flats have very similar facilities. All rooms are private rooms, so you have your own private bedroom and your own private bathroom. You don't share that. All you share in both residents are just the kitchen facilities with your flatmates.
We've actually just got another question as well for you. Mia would like to know about Kelvin Court a little bit.
Kelvin Court is similar to the Globe in that it has got social areas. The big difference with Kelvin Court is that you're not just living in Kelvin Court. It's not just GIC students that are living there. The Globe in Franklin Point, you would only be living with GIC students. At Kelvin Court, you could be mixing with students from any other college or university within Glasgow. So it could be with other Glasgow University students, it could be Strathclyde University students. So it's a great opportunity to mix with different types of people. People who are older than you, who might be from a lot more different nationalities. You might be mixing with UK students as well. So more of a mixture of people who stay at Kelvin Court. The actual facilities, again, are very similar to the Globe. In that you have your own private bedroom, your own private bathroom, you're only sharing the kitchen. So the facilities are very similar. They have social areas as well. The main difference is that you are mixing with non-GIC students.
Okay, thanks a lot, Deborah. Fantastic. Okay. So as Annie's just asking about the pictures for the accommodation, and again, these are available on our website and in the accommodation guide. I will send the link to the website and to the guide to this group after this chat. Okay. So we are quite close to 4 o'clock now. So if you have maybe one more question, then please feel free to send it just now. If not, I think then we can stop the chat. Like I said, if you have missed anything, okay, we've got one more question here. Franklin Point, yes, Franklin Point is just for college students, so it's only for GIC students, and so is the Globe. The Globe and Franklin Point is only for GIC students. Yeah. Great, fantastic. Okay, so we will stop the recording now. Like I said, if you have missed anything, don't worry, there will be videos available. For those of you living in China, we are currently looking at the possibility to upload the videos on one of our Chinese social media sites, because we are using YouTube over here, and I know this is not available. So we will try our best to make this available to you as well, so you can watch it back again. Apart from that, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any further questions, you can join our Facebook group. I've sent the link to you all beforehand, but I can post it again in this group. Thank you to James, Anna, Donald and Deborah briefly for joining into the chat, and we hope you have a good night, morning, day, whatever time it is in your country. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.